again? Welcome back, it's BrewBQ'n. Today on the menu, it's right around that time of St. Patrick's Day. I figure we got some corned beef left over. Let's make a corned beef casserole. All right, so what we're doing with this is we're gonna take the corned beef that's left over. I got about 1.5 pounds of it, said chunk, right? We're gonna chop that up. We're gonna add some cabbage. We're gonna add some red potatoes, because that's usually what you serve with corned beef, right? Cabbage, potatoes, all that good stuff. We're gonna dice up a couple little sweet onions to go in it, and then we're gonna make our own sauce. We're gonna top it with some hash browns, give you kind of like a corned beef and hash feeling as well, and then we're gonna bake it. I got the pizza oven fired up. I'm gonna throw it in there for about 40 minutes, and this thing's gonna come out amazing. So let's get to it. First of all, like I said, we got about 1.5 pounds left over of corned beef from the night before. So we're gonna cut that just into little chunks, almost just dice it. All the meat's in the bowl. I'm gonna dice up these onions. Okay, so now for the red potatoes, which are kind of a staple with this dish. You got, you know, the cabbage, the red potatoes, the corned beef, all that. We're gonna kind of shoestring these two, or kind of make them hash-like. So we got the mandolin out. We got the little blades up here to kind of, once it goes through there, it'll create nice little, you know, shoestring pieces. Let's see what we got here. Oh, I highly recommend using the guard with this. These things are incredibly sharp, and you know, everybody's at least taking a chunk out of something on these things. So we got the guard here. We're gonna go straight through. All right, and that's what you get. So all these are gonna go in. We're gonna get all 6 of these potatoes done. So now, last step, cabbage. All right, we're just gonna take about half of this. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna chop this up, and then instead of just throwing it straight into the casserole here, we're gonna sit there and boil it for a few minutes just to kind of loosen it up a little bit. That way it doesn't have to bake the whole time during the whole time in the pizza oven here. So we're just gonna chop this into kind of a crosshatch chunk. Got a pot of boiling water here, and this is all just going in. We'll get this thing back on the stove. All right, here we go. Time to talk about the cheeses that are going in this, because there's not a casserole that, you know, isn't complete without cheese. So we're gonna stick with the Irish theme here, and we're gonna go with Kerrygold's aged cheddar, as well as Dubliner. Now, the Irish cheeses, the one cheddar, I think the Dubliner's a style of cheddar. It says aged cheese with a distinctive and natural hint of sweetness. Figure can't go wrong. So we're gonna shred these up. One of these is gonna go, we're gonna take the aged cheddar, we're gonna dump that into the mix with the corned beef and all that. The other one we're gonna do into the sauce, the Dubliner here. So we're gonna have both cheeses in there. It's just kind of adding them in different ways. So let me get these things shredded. Kind of curious about this. This is the Dubliner. It's a pretty dry cheese. Got a lot of flavor to it, so I'm excited about that. Might as well, while I have it out, try the cheddar as well, right? Not quite as dry, still a ton of flavor. Good aged cheddar is just incredible. It's one of my favorite cheeses, so let's get these in there. So these were 7-ounce packets of cheese. I used the whole 7 ounces of the aged cheddar to go into the casserole. I'm only gonna use half of the Dubliner. I just don't feel like we are gonna need that much in it. So the Dubliner almost has like a consistency like a fresh grated Parmesan. Kind of what it reminds me of. And that will be reserved for our sauce that we're gonna make right now. Here we go. For the sauce, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of butter is going in. We're just gonna let that melt. We got this on about medium-low. Now, if you don't wanna make the sauce from scratch, that's perfectly fine. I know a lot of people don't wanna deal with this. Cream of mushroom or cream of chicken are completely viable options. Just follow the can, throw some milk in it, dump that over the top. I just wanna get a little creative here. So, our butter's melted. Next, we're gonna add 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, and we're just gonna slowly whisk that in, kind of creating like a roux. We're gonna let this simmer for just about a minute or two. We wanna make sure that you're burning off or cooking off all that raw flour flavor. So let this kind of just do its thing for a minute. Okay, we're about good here. So now it's time for a 1/2 cup of beef stock. Same thing, you kind of want to whisk this in slowly as well, trying not to break the sauce. And then to that, another 1/2 cup of milk. This is a little thicker than what I was looking for, so I'm just going to thin it out with a little bit more beef broth here. All right, we're basically looking for like a pancake batter type consistency out of this. Okay, so this is about where we're at now. It's perfect. Now we're going to do the 3.5 ounces of the Dubliner cheese is going to go in. And the one last thing, salt and pepper. Maybe about a teaspoon. All right, there you have our sauce that is going in. We're just gonna let this kind of chill out on the stove just for a minute and dump the rest of this thing back into the casserole that we're doing here. So let's get this thing put together. We got our corned beef, we got our potatoes, we got the cheese, we got some onions in there. Now for the cabbage, like I said, I basically just blanched it. I boiled it for a few minutes, strained it, and then ran some cold water over it to stop the cooking. That's gonna go in. It's almost looking like I'm gonna need a bigger bowl. And then we have our sauce that we made. So that's there. This is gonna go over the top. And that's got that incredible Dubliner cheese that's in there. All right, then we're just gonna mix this in. Okay, so now that everything's nice and incorporated, we got some avocado oil. We're just gonna drizzle on the bottom of this here and just kind of coat the bottom to make sure that nothing sticks. All right, and then we're just dumping this in. Okay, we're just gonna kind of spread everything out evenly in here. Now that you got everything in, the colors of the corned beef and the cabbage, the little red potatoes, it looks amazing. And now it's time for those hash browns I was telling you about. So I just got some store-bought frozen shredded hash browns. We're just gonna cover the top of this with these as kind of a little crust, something nice and crunchy on here. Oh, and if you're wondering, this is a 9x13 baking sheet. It's cast iron, it's from Lodge. I got this one just because the pizza oven, it can be finicky. I don't want to use my wife's nice ones and get in trouble. So, okay, so on top of those hash browns, we're just gonna take a little olive oil and spray the top of that just to kind of help brown it. And then just a little hint of garlic powder here on the top. You don't want to go too much, but just add a little something extra. And again, just on the top of this, fresh ground salt and pepper. Okay, so as for assembling the casserole, it is done. We're waiting for the pizza oven to finish firing up here, and we'll throw this thing in. In the meantime, my favorite time of the day, beer of the day time. Now, we're doing Irish. I feel like you can't do an Irish meal without a Guinness. I know it's not craft, but it's what it is. Guinness is the Irish beer, national beer. I'm sure it's completely associated with Ireland and St. Patrick's Day and all that good stuff. The reason that Guinness is so creamy and the bubbles are so tight is it's actually made with a beer gas, which is a combination of CO2 and nitrogen. So that's why you get that nice mouthfeel to it. Cheers. For being as dark as it is, you'd think it would be, a really heavy beer, but Guinness is a light, easy drinking beer. Kick back, have a few of these. We'll see you guys in a second. We'll get this thing thrown in the pizza oven and get this thing done. All right, here we go. We got the casserole. Pizza oven's fired up, about 400 degrees. We're gonna cook this thing for about 40 minutes, and we're just gonna leave it uncovered and let it do its thing. So obviously, if you don't have a pizza oven, you can do it in a regular oven at home. Same thing. This is gonna have a little wood-fired flavor to it, but that's about it. So let's get to it. All right, casserole's out. Took about 45 minutes. Let's see if this thing is actually cooked. All right, there you have it. Check that out. Looking pretty amazing. Let's give this thing a try. Man, this is, quintessential corned beef all in one. You get the cabbage, the potatoes, especially the corned beef. This is absolutely amazing. So we're going to call this one a success, guys. We'll see you guys next time. Please don't forget to subscribe. We're BrewBQ'n. Cheers.